guys, welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a scenario where Austria tries to form the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And by the way, this is the Austro-Hungarian Empire at its prime, and this is what Austria and Hungary look like now. So basically, Austria is going to be like, I'm sick and tired of being weak and small and degraded in Europe. And Austria is going to be like, I'm weak and tired and sick of being degraded and weak in Europe. So Austria form an empire, make a king, get a king, and the capital will be Vienna. And they will say, Hungary, you want to join us? And Hungary is going to be like, oh yes, please, I've been waiting for this moment my whole life. And, well, they're going to love this, and these two are going to join up. Not the strongest country, but a pretty strong country. I am going to be buffing them for this video, just to keep that in mind. And let's get right into it. So, not shockingly, they are going to be inviting all the countries that have been in the Austro-Hungarian, have had land in the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So, these countries consist of Italy, Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia, Romania, Czechoslovakia, Poland, and Ukraine. I don't know why I said Czechoslovakia. I meant Czechia and Slovakia. But here is all the countries. So obviously they're not going to be declaring all of them at once. So what they're going to do first is they're going to send invites to give the land back. And some of these countries are going to be like, well, I guess so, but all of them are going to say, like, no, eventually. And this makes the Austro-Hungarians a little mad. And what they're going to do from this is what they're actually going to do, which is even more shocking than invading Czechoslovakia, is they're going to invade Ukraine. Now, you might be thinking, Meister, what do you mean they're invading Ukraine? Of all countries, this is what I mean by they're invading Ukraine. And also, this is also what I mean by they're invading Ukraine. Because this is the case, and constantly there's a tug, and a push, and a tug, and a push, Ukraine's army is actually kind of distracted. The entire army is actually fighting in Russia right now. Fighting to defend themselves from Russia right now. So Ukraine is in absolutely no position to ever be fighting a war against anyone right now, because of the fact that they are being in a war against Russia. So I'm gonna quickly just like highlight all the land here. This is like about what it is, and I'll just clean up this border right here. So Austria-Hungary is going to be declaring war on Ukraine, and obviously, I mean, what do you expect here? Well, obviously what do you expect here? Ukraine's army is going to immediately falter at the force of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. In fact, they're going to falter so badly that they will start to absolutely lose so much land in the west that, boom. So obviously, Russia's already in the war, and it's going to actually, so this Russia's war against them will actually accelerate, and their already opening front in the north will recontinue, and boom. Belarus will obviously join their, I'm not going to say puppet master in case people don't agree with that, but their ally, their major ally in fact. And, well, Russia's just going to keep tearing into Ukraine, and Kiev is captured. And now we can look at the peace treaty. And looking at this peace treaty, we can see that Austria-Hungary got what their former land was, and Russia got, well, lots of land. In fact, they fused with Belarus, and the Russian Empire is here. But we're going to ignore the fact that they're here, because Austria-Hungary would probably end up fighting them. By the way, there's kind of going to be, I don't want to call them final bosses, but there's going to be final bosses to this video. 2 final bosses. So now, continuing Austria-Hungary's expansion, it's time to leave their landlocked businesses and invade Slovenia for this pixel of coastline right here. So the Austro-Hungarian troops will, of course, begin to enter into Slovenia once more, and, well, Slovenia is kind of Slovenia, so. And obviously, what you would think would happen, happens. But Austria-Hungary is actually not done yet. They want their industry back. They want their money back. They want their economy back. They will invade Slovakia. You might be thinking, wait, Meister, wasn't the industrial core of the Austro-Hungarian Empire all of Czechoslovakia, right? But the thing is that Czechia is a little too strong for them right now, so they have to go for one at a time. Anyway, by the way, Budapest is right. No, why did I say Budapest? Slovakia's capital. I didn't mean Budapest. Slovakia's capital is like Bratislava. Is like right here. They're gonna start getting closer on it, and obviously they're gonna come to a stop because you can't get that close to countries' capitals without them starting to guard up well. They do want to cut off their border with Czechoslovakia and because of fear, Czechoslovakia will join the war on the side of Slovakia, and well, Slovakia and Czechoslovakia start to actually reunite. Yeah, they somehow, I'm actually not even sure what drove the two to disunite in 1991, like disband, because they're not even that different as nations, so there's no reason to like create useless enmity, and they've realized that, and they start to invade actually into the freshly occupied lands in Ukraine, hoping to get back, like, by the way, before World War II, Czechoslovakia was looking kind of like this-ish. Wait, like this? This is kind of what Czechoslovakia looks like. So that's what they're trying to achieve here. Austria-Hungary is not doing well at all, like really bad, in fact. And this is actually so bad that they get some encirclements here. Well, the Austro-Hungarians, I keep saying Hungarians, are going to start to move back. And well, this is very scary and very intense. And the Austrians are starting to struggle. If I say Austrians or Hungarians one more time, I'm going to kill myself. The Austro-Hungarians are struggling big time, and whoa. The Czechoslovakians just cut off all of Western Ukraine and occupied it. Now Austria-Hungary is in a state of panic. Whoa. Austria-Hungary, why are you spearheading towards both capitals? Excuse me, whoa. Slovakia's capital will fall, and this is where it goes downhill for the Czechoslovakians, as Slovakia and Western Ukraine will be fully reoccupied, and now it's Czechia on their own, and they're starting to regret their entrance into this war, and well, their capital is being surrounded completely, actually. They don't even have borders with other countries anymore because, actually no, they do have borders, but never mind. Because Austria-Hungary is working on cutting that off. By the way, NATO does not exist in this video. Otherwise, Austria-Hungary would be gone right now. Like, gone. Absolutely obliterated. Anyway, they will take, and this peace treaty doesn't even have to be off-cam, because it's such a simple peace treaty. It's just some very quick border fixes. And here it is. Here is our peace treaty. And while the Austro-Hungarians are looking stronger than before and more ready for more wars, I want to play a little game with you guys. Guess who their new target is? Is it Croatia. Definitely not Bosnia, because their only spot to invade would be the little dot of coast they have, which is not highlighted on this map. Oh wait, no, it's this right here. This little dot of coast right here. It would be a little difficult to enter from there, so I don't think they should do that. They could like do this, but like that wouldn't really work. So Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia, Romania, Poland, or Italy. Well, the last two would definitely kill the Austro-Hungarians, so they're going to go for Croatia. This is actually pretty interesting because Bosnia kind of hates Croatia, and so does Serbia. And now this is very, very bad for Croatia, because they're getting like they're getting triple teams, and well, would you expect it? They're cut in two. Would you expect it? Their capital is captured. Would you expect it? Austria-Hungary gets a little mad and declares war on Bosnia. Bosnia has now completely swapped over, but Serbia is actually hoping to occupy Republika Srpska, so they will start to come here, and they will come here, and they will leave the war with their gains. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna highlight it. That's gone, that's gone, that's gone. These Serbians have taken it all. These Serbians have taken Republika Srpska. Obviously, the Austro-Hungarians are very mad about this. They don't want them to escape with any land, but for now they're just gonna have to deal with it, and they're going to continue their expansion, and they're going to win. And right here we can see the peace treaty. It looks a little funky. Serbia has those weird borders now. Austria-Hungary is getting much, much bigger, much, much stronger, but there are Austro-Hungarian troops starting to line up here, and Serbia realizes it and actually makes a defense pact with Montenegro. The Austro-Hungarian troops will line up all over this whole border. The Serbian troops are gonna line up everywhere here, and also the Montenegrins, but the Montenegrins are doing less work here because Serbia is the bigger person. Now the war will escalate to the point of Austro-Hungarian troops blitz into Republika Srpska, and it makes sense why they would be okay with this war, because Podgorica has now been surrounded. This is not going out well. Kosovo is actually always not going to be here. Right here you can see that Kosovo has united with Albania, and that's not as important as the main war that's going on, because Belgrade is like here, and the Austro-Hungarian troops are actually going to pause right here and start to be repelled and even invaded by the Serbians, and even invaded by the Serbians. Spearhead, Budapest, their second capital. This is not turning out well. You can expect what happens now. Invasion, as always, because why would they not invade into the country that they're fighting? Montenegro's obviously going to fall. Serbia is not very stable right now. They're going to start to be very, very contested and very, very heated. The Balkans in general are starting to become heated by this major event of Austria-Hungary attempting to come back. And, Serbia's attempted spearhead towards Budapest fails, and they are encircled, and they are destroyed. Looking at this peace treaty, we can see that Serbia has been punished a little weirdly, actually. In case you're wondering, Belgrade is right here. So, this is a pretty weird border, but it's okay. Montenegro was actually punished worse than they should have been. Serbia should have been punished this bad, but Montenegro had half of their land, like their land was formerly right here, up into there, and then it was all taken, and now they are a puppet state, and I'm going to highlight that by having them in a lower color. Now, time to address some woe. Bulgaria invades North Macedonia and takes it over. This is becoming a little heated. There's some pressure and tension going on, especially with the fact that Russia is now so big. And yeah, I wasn't going to do it, but I feel I have to highlight the amount of pressure here. Russia has restored the borders of the Soviet Union. Austria-Hungary's next target will be Romania. Now, Romania is actually going to do very, very well in this war, shocking Austria-Hungary more than Austria-Hungary thought they could do. So what Romania is going to do now is, with this, they will start to actually invade into Austria-Hungary, and Austria-Hungary is realizing the tension and pressure that is pushing them with all these ethnicities that they've conquered so quickly, and they're feeling the weight, and they're feeling the pressure, and they're feeling the push, and they're feeling the pain that is starting to course through them. Croatia and Slovenia independence group has been formed. Austria-Hungary is going to take this pretty nicely, and they're just going to send some troops over and be like, excuse me, what do you think you're doing? And shut it down. They're going to actually start massacring these people, which is not a good idea because that always gets people mad. But they don't care. They're going to show them a lesson. They're going to teach them a lesson. They're going to absolutely hurt them so badly. They're going to discourage them very bad. Russia is actually very interested in getting their land back, but sadly for them, that's not going to happen, and Austria-Hungary will continue. As they continue their push, they will get a new ally. And boom, Germany has made an alliance with Austria-Hungary, and this is a little suspicious, and this is a little scary, and this is a little creepy, and people are starting to get a little pressured up from this event. It's starting to scare people. And oh, by the way, back over to this front, Romania is not doing well. Romania is not doing well. They're losing a lot of land in Transylvania, and it looks like they are starting to lose here. And the Austro-Hungarian army is actually starting to become competent, unlike in World War I. And people are getting scared, people are getting pressured, countries are feeling like they're going to be next. Serbia feels like they would be next. Italy feels like they'll be next. Switzerland feels like that. Albania feels like that. Bulgaria feels like that. Poland feels like that. Russia has zero fear. In fact, they want to invade Austria-Hungary. Anyway, this is not good for Romania, and soon they will surrender. So, looking at this peace treaty, we can see that Austria-Hungary is a little weirdly shaped for Austria-Hungary, but they are Austria-Hungary once more, and they're not done. They want Italy's borders back. Oh, and by the way, Germany and Italy will have like a double invasion, where together they will invade Switzerland and Italy together. And whoa, there is a stop right here on the Italian front line, and North Tyrol actually wants, South Tyrol actually, in the current world, 12.5% of the people want to break away from Italy and join Austria. So that's going to start to pressure them, and they're going to feel the heat, they're going to feel the power, and South Tyrol will become once more Austrian. But starting here, there will be a deadlock in the Italian front line. Not in the Italian front line, though. Germany and Austria-Hungary will very quickly start to defeat Switzerland, and Switzerland is just going to surrender because they don't want to be punished too bad, and they've just been assured by these two central powers that they didn't mean to use that word, it sounds a little World War I-y, that they will be good and that they will give some land back. Definitely burn. Also to mention, Turkey is joining this alliance. Very notably, Turkey is joining this alliance, and very notably, they've invaded the whole Middle Eastern area. While this was happening, I just didn't really highlight it, but Turkey has been militarily expanding and destroying all these Middle Eastern nations. Okay, this is turning scary. Bulgaria has also joined this major alliance that was made by Austria-Hungary, and well, these other nations around them are starting to panic. Can't highlight it yet, but oh, by the way, now this front is starting to collapse here, you can see, because the Italians are getting hit from a lot of sides, and the front is spreading a little too quickly, and they actually can't hold. They are actually starting to be pressured, they're actually starting to fall apart, and they're actually starting to get close to this island, which will be conquered, and quite quickly, Italy will sue for peace. So looking at this peace treaty, we can see that Italy has given all of the land that Austria had at their peak. So, wow, it's pretty shocking, and it's pretty crazy considering the fact that Italy is such a strong nation, but it also shows how far the Austro-Hungarians have gotten. No, I'm not glazing Austria-Hungary, please don't say that in the comments. Well, Poland will be declared on by many nations, as Russia will join the war. Now, this is very heated, and this is it's okay because Austria-Hungary only needs like this land here, and Germany only wants Russian land, all here, like this, and then Russia wants the rest of the land here. So looking at that, let's get started. The Austro-Hungarians, well, you can see the progress of the Austro-Hungarian military as they start to blitz through here, and then Russia will start to press into their area. They'll start to spearhead, and they will capture Warsaw, but knowing the fact that Poland is very strong and very persistent, they will actually stand out even though the capital has fallen. Germany obviously has to do their part by invading. Like, the Bulgarians and Ottomans are sending Turks, and the Turks and Bulgarians are sending out aid to these troops on these front lines, and we can see that Poland has fallen. So looking at this peace treaty, we can see that, whoa, I kind of forgot to color in this part, but looking at this peace treaty, we can see that Poland has been completely partitioned between the three powers that invaded them, and well, the tensions are at an all-time high, and to just highlight how high these tensions are, I'm going to fill in the countries that have just made a defense pact with each other. Is that an interesting bunch of countries? Yes, it quite is. Is this a little dangerous? Yes, it quite is. Will this result in a global war? I don't think so. Maybe, but I don't think so. Hopefully not. I think we're all hoping not, because if so, this will be quite dangerous. The Austro-Hungarian troops cross into Serbia, and so do the Bulgarian ones, and well, this is kind of to blow up. All negotiations will not be working as these troops are hungry and they want wins, they want conquest. And as soon as Serbia starts to fall, they will completely fall and flee, similarly to how they did in World War I. the Serbian government will flee into Albania, who will then be invaded. And, well, this is not working out very well. Albania is going to start to fall from these sides, and they're not having a great time. They are driven to this edge and defeated, and well, the troops are going to move over to Romania. These troops are going to move over to the Russian Empire, where the front is going to start to stalemate, and it's going to begin to slow down as the Russians have been preparing for this giant war. As they knew some kind of war would come, they didn't know another World War type of thing would happen though. So this could be considered World War III, as as these sides are pretty similar to World War I, and it's a giant war. Now, interestingly, Luxembourg, Belgium, and France will hold a joint invasion into Germany, attempting to get the Swiss gold and also the coal in this area and in Saarland. And they're also trying to take control of the Rhine before the Germans can organize, but whoa. The Germans do organize, and they do quickly take Luxembourg, and the German military is much stronger compared to these other countries than it was at that time. Definitely, they would not be able to stop the UK's military, so we're not going to let them get too far, but Luxembourg and Belgium definitely fell by now. The Danish are brave enough to start to invade into here, and well, obviously it's not going to work. The Germans are going to push it back, and Denmark is actually kind of one of the weakest countries that could be in a war in this scenario. Germany will invade the Netherlands to add to their conquest, and well, the Netherlands is not the strongest country in the modern day, so some of these countries actually haven't been doing any preparations, so yeah, but this front is continuing to stalemate, and it's continuing to stalemate so hard that when the Russian counteroffensive hits, it just, after it happens, it just hits rock solid again, and this is not moving, except for the fact that Bulgarian and Ottoman troops are very organized now, and they are helping a lot and coming in from the south. And now, because of this burning offensive that's popping up, Turkey will decide to quickly destroy all these countries. It's not going to take too long, but after it happens, there's a slow offensive that pops up in the south. They do a type of Schlieffen plan. This way, they don't have to get through the northern offensive. By the way, don't think that all of this is happening in like 2 minutes. This is happening over the span of multiple years. That's why Turkey got through the Caucasus that quickly in this video. They're going to attempt to land, and they will get close to Sevastopol, but that idea will be quickly shut down, as the Russians are really locked in and guarding up on their land. They do not want to let anything happen here. They don't want to lose. They don't want to end up just how they did in World War II. Why did I say two? World War I. And they're actually not doing so, and they're actually doing very well. I'd actually say that they're carrying, because they're starting to push very well. Well, this front is not coming out well for the Ottomans, but as is always seen, when one front starts to turn out well, it always doesn't turn out well on the other front, and the brush size is going to increase. Romania will surrender, and the Russians are getting out of control. This is starting to World War I. This is starting to snowball. The Russians will lose Estonia. The Russians will start to lose all the Baltics. Sevastopol, Crimea will be joint invaded. And And now the Russians are going to lock in. They're going to let this land back away, and they're going to lock down their front on all sides to ensure that there is no breakthroughs. Over here on the Western Front, we can see that the German invasion is starting to accelerate. Paris is like right there, so they're getting closer, and this is not turning out well. The Germans are going to try to encircle Paris by doing this, but the French will actually push them back. In fact, spearheading like this, by the way, that wasn't in a cut off area, that was just a bad drawing from me. But the Germans will attempt to start to make a spearhead here, but then the British will land right here to continue their saving, and the Belgian government is put back into office right here in the city of Namur. Right here, they're trying to reinstall these governments. Amsterdam is taken back. Right there, the Germans are starting to panic because they're seeing a pattern of how this is going to turn out. They think that these troops will head this way and this way into Berlin. So to try to stop this, they're going to quickly start to spearhead here and start to cut off this whole area. They will come back and reorganize, regroup. They will start to push. They will start to encircle Paris, and well, Paris is going to hold out for a long time. So let's get back to Paris in a second. Over down here, they're starting to get stronger and bigger. By the way, Switzerland is like kind of buying out both sides right now. They're selling them both weapons. So is Sweden. There are some neutral countries here, but Brittany is going to be quickly taken back, and the Germans will be proved wrong in their thought that they will be able to quickly overrun France, as this is turning into a dragging campaign similar to in World War I. And guess who's joining for revenge? It's Italy. Italy will join in order to get their revenge, and so will Greece, because Greece actually wasn't even wronged in this whole video, but they just want to spite the Turkish, and it's not going to work because quickly this whole thing will fall apart. There was already guards on the borders of Greece because they knew that Greece would join, and they were prepared, and Greece falls pretty quickly. They're going to drop some troops into here. The Austro-Hungarians will very slowly enter here, but that will all be pushed back. And well, right here we can see that the Italians have restored all their former land back into shape. But Paris falls, so does France, so does Corsica. All of it is gone, and from this, Britain keeps trying to make landings that are defeated here, 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 all the way here, down here, over here. They keep making landings. By the way, this didn't happen at the same time, but these are at different times. They keep happening. The Germans are about to do something big that will change the war, and that is an invasion of southern England. Whoa. No way. The British repel them instantly, come across the English Channel, and start to push, since that was kind of a waste of German troops. And well, this time the front is actually working out pretty well for the British. The French government has actually been executed, so they don't exist anymore. There is no France. France is gone. This is all German land at this point. But here the Germans will start to press into here and get here very quickly. So Britain will just give up because they're going to lose anyway. And well, this starts to echo throughout all of these fronts as Austria-Hungary and Germany really start to kick Italy in the butt and punish them for what they've done. and this is not turning out well. This front connects over here, and the Russians are also starting to collapse to the point where they leave. To conclude this video, Austria-Hungary, Germany, and the Central Powers countries were able to defeat the rest of them. And well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.